Most women I work with earn good money, but one unexpected expense totally throws them off, and it usually comes down to how their savings is set up. If you've ever wondered if emergency funds and savings accounts are two totally different things, by the end of this video, you'll understand how they fit together and how you can use them confidently. If you want an instant picture of where you stand financially, make sure you download my resource, the Financially Empowered Women Checklist. The link is in the description below. So to make this really easy, let's start with what each of these are. So savings accounts are designed for you to hold money over a longer period of time and for longer term goals. So not necessarily your groceries or to fill up your gas tank. And as your money sits in this account, it is going to earn interest and grow over time. Now, an emergency fund is simply a type of savings account. So just as you might have a savings account to save for a house or maybe a new car, you have a savings account for your emergency fund as well. So simply put, an emergency fund is just a savings account where you deposit money into and withdraw money from to take care of those unexpected expenses as they arise. Now the difference comes in on where you may put these types of funds. So for example, if you plan on buying a house in 5 years, you have a very specific time frame and you know that you have some time to play with. Therefore, you can be a bit more flexible in where you put that money. And what do I mean by that? Well, maybe instead of your regular basic savings account at your bank, you take some of that money and put it into CDs. And no, I'm not talking about music for those of you old enough to remember. A CD is a certificate of deposit, simply an account where you lock in both the term and the rate. And the term can be as low as 3 months to up to 3 years and beyond. The longer the term, the higher the interest rate. So usually you can get a little bit better, not always super great, but better rate than your basic savings account. Now there's some caveats with these types of accounts, such as if you withdraw the money early, usually there's a penalty, and you are locked into that rate if the rates do go up, but they can be a really nice option. Now with an emergency fund, the whole point is to be able to get to your money as quickly as possible because you never know when you are going to need it. So it's usually beneficial to keep that money in a basic savings account at your local institution. But, and there's always a but, if you watched my last video on emergency funds that's linked above, you know we talked about how many months of savings should you have in your emergency fund. I would say if you're having at least 6 months or more, then you may be able to take advantage of some of these shorter term CDs as well, because you're not going to need 100% of the money on day one. But to keep things simple today, we really want to make sure that we don't have a high risk tolerance around these emergency funds so that we can access them at any time. So putting them in one of those basic savings accounts that I just mentioned will work beautifully. So which one feels harder for you to save for? Emergencies or fun goals? Let me know in the comments below. And if you said emergency funds feel harder, believe me, you are not alone. This is where the biggest difference between emergency funds and savings accounts come in. It's all how we think about them. So overall, savings accounts are for fun things. Buying that new house, buying that luxury car, going on that trip that's been on your bucket list for years. Or maybe you're like me and you saw that designer handbag in the window at the mall that you just really have to have. All of those are things that make you feel good. Emergency funds, on the other hand, are for those unexpected expenses or necessities. So maybe that doctor's bill after you break your leg, or maybe for those new tires after you hit that huge pothole in the road. My fellow New Englanders will understand me on that one. It's the things that we kind of hold our nose and pay for because we have to, but they don't bring us any joy. So we end up not having a huge motivation to grow that account. So we really need to change our mindset in how we think about these emergency funds, and know that the peace of mind that they provide is worth so much more than any luxury car or first class plane ticket could ever provide. As I mentioned in my last video, think of it as your insurance policy to make sure that your peace, your joy, your happiness is never taken away from you. And that's what I want you to remember every time you go and make that deposit. Are you ready to get a clear picture on your whole financial life? Grab my free Financially Empowered Women checklist. The link is in the description below. In just a few minutes, you'll know exactly what's working, what needs a tune-up, and your best next move. If this helped, give it a like, and make sure you subscribe for clear, confident money guidance that actually supports your life. See you next time.